Hello everyone and welcome back to Krastorio 2. This is Otaku Showboat, and today, well, things are slightly different with the game, in particular with the music. Now, before I really get into this, I would like to make sure to remind you all to do all of the social stuff below the video, and please consider hitting that great big blue join button to become an erudite otaku and turn that blue button gray. And also, you can provide more recurring support through Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat if you are so inclined and able. So, I streamed yesterday, my time. Make sure I have my green screen all correct there. I streamed my Space Angel series yesterday, and when I woke up this morning, overnight, the stream got content ID matched for a music track in Factorio, claiming that it is a track that it is not. Fortunately, I can just mute that section. I wasn't talking during that section of gameplay, but the music track Swell Pad has been causing problems lately for a lot of people, specifically smaller content creators, and I don't want to go through the process of having to counter every single content ID notice that I will get going forward with this particular piece of music, so I have edited the game by making an edit, a removal of some code in one file in the base game called ambient-sounds.lua. This is under the Factorio database prototypes directory, just to remove the reference to load in the file for Swellpad. So that will not exist anymore going forward. I also went and I removed the file from the folder itself, but that is not actually necessary. Not in the slightest is that actually necessary. You just have to tell the game not to load the file. So, fortunately, I haven't had any trouble with any of the other music tracks thus far, just Swellpad. I have in the past had an issue with playing Swellpad on my stream on Twitch, with it actually muting part of the VOD for the VOD on YouTube, for the VOD on Twitch, not the VOD on YouTube, of course. But anyway, with that said, I also have a little public service announcement PSA video talking about this situation that you can also find on my channel, ideally by this point, maybe a couple of days ago as of when this video goes up. Now, you may have noticed that I changed a little bit here. I did bring down the nitric acid that this takes to make the empty antimatter fuel cells. I did notice this off-screen, like, right after I ended the previous video, so yes, it's taken care of now. I've done the thing with the acid to do this, and I've also put in matter stabilizer production for this too. It's just the matter stabilizer, it's not like the charged stuff, so you just have to make them and it makes the fuel cells. And remember that the fuel cells are a closed loop system. You make the fuel cells, you'll always have the fuel cells. It's the charging of the fuel cells that's going to take some effort. And I have just remembered that today is going to be a day of antimatter. Today is definitely an antimatter type of a day, which means that I actually need to go into my comments section on YouTube and grab, well, I need to ban a Cute Girls Online spam link as the first thing. Apparently also I can put exoskeletons into the Spidertron. And yes, I can make the remote to have it do stuff afterwards. It says this, edit, that it does not take exoskeletons, it uses advanced electric engines. Okay, sure, because it's a vehicle. And they're 4x4, so you can fit 2 in the grid. requiring a dedicated power supply. Yeah, things from Ave saying that you can improve it. I don't think it's going to be improved enough. Like the base speed of the Spidertron is way too slow, even for like any amounts of buffing to overcome. This thing is way too slow for any amounts of buffing to overcome how slow it is. Especially if I compare it to like my train, my little train on rails going from place to place, zooming from place to place. I'll take the train at this point. Where is that link? Where is that link? Let's have a look. Where is this it? This is the one. Copy that to clipboard. Import this string. And oh joy. So, this is a blueprint. This is a blueprint. It has how many entities? 17,000 units of purple belt. 3.2k yellow inserters for some reason. 3.2k... Oh, I know why it's the yellow inserters. Is because you don't need faster inserters, because it's got 3,200 greenhouses! As well as, apparently, 1,800 some odd amounts of medium power poles, a bunch of modules and singularity beacons, and regular beacons, and yeah. 114 gigawatts. Sustained. Thank you, Ave, for this monstrosity. This utter, total monstrosity of a build. Depending on how much power is required. So, greenhouse, right? A greenhouse. With the not fertilizer recipe, because I think the fertilizer recipe is just gonna overcomplicate things by a lot. Say I do the whole singularity shenaniganry around this guy. Just noting that you can go between one to another. How much fits around this? Well, it looks like that no matter what, we're going to end up with a bit of a problem, a -1. Oops. Be free. So 15, at least a -1, maybe a -2, just so I can get the water flowing here. Just make it look at least somewhat decent. There. And I kept the spacing like that so that I could do something like... well, you see, it would help if you could actually beacon the greenhouses. You can't actually beacon the greenhouses. That's problem one. That's problem the first. So, let's have a look at the actual fertilizer recipe, because that is a lot of entities to provide that much power. Coal, sulfuric acid, nitric acid to make 10 in an advanced chem plant. Fertilizer. It can be made productively. So let's look. That thing used like 3,200 regular. If I look at this, that's that. So that's like 2,200-ish per second. Thereabouts. 2150, 2,200. So if I wanted 2,200, I would need half as many because of course the recipe is, you know, that's 60 seconds. This is 60 seconds, and it gives 80 wood. So it's exactly times 2. So instead of 3,200, it would be half that, 1,600 entities. Making greenhouses, but 1,600 greenhouse entities would need, that's 1.6. $26.67-ish, which would mean that much stuff. So, my point here is that 1,600 buildings difference here on the greenhouses, that is a lot of power. That is 150 times 1,600 of kilowatts. If we divide that by 100, that's, or by 1,000, that's 240 megawatts of power, right? That's 240 megawatts of power on greenhouses versus doing this recipe. As long as the power to make the 20 some odd fertilizer is lower than 240 megawatts, it's absolutely worth doing this. However, nitric acid and sulfuric acid and coal are not exactly renewable resources, and things that have to be brought in and powered separately and independently and all of that good stuff. The nitric acid is pretty easy to get into, as is the sulfuric and the coal, mind you. It's just you're converting petroleum gas into sulfuric acid with iron, and you're making the nitric acid out of the mineral water with some nitrogen and hydrogen in the form of ammonia. So it's not that difficult to get all this, to get the fertilizer. And you can do it pretty productively, pretty speedy without any beacons as well. I mean, it's 6 of these. I think we can just place 6 of these. And if we beacon anything, we can beacon efficiency. Be very careful about beaconing efficiency, because beaconing efficiency doesn't make the beacon efficient. The beacon itself will use 480 kilowatts, so unless you can save the 480 kilowatts on the things that you're beaconing, it's not worth it. You have to save more than 480 for it to be worth beaconing efficiency onto buildings. Now, it's reduced by 50% of the base. The base consumption on one of these buildings is 1.81 megawatts per building. So yes, in this case, it's absolutely worth it, because you save way more than 480 kilowatts by beaconing efficiency on these. You save a lot more by beaconing efficiency on these. It would reduce that 320% by 50. So in the 270 range on these 3 with this one beacon, and you can add additional beacons and save more power on that, up to a total negative 80%, which may actually be completely worth it. in this specific case, with advanced buildings making the fertilizer. Now, I understand why the build uses 30 some odd hundred on the regular recipe. That is because it is self-starting if you do the basic just add water recipe. Okay, I'm going to make a copy of this. It's going to live here, and I don't know how I'm going to delete, like, the stuff, because I don't need most of this. And this is really hard to just place down anywhere. Are you so it's beaconing the matter reactors, that's what it's doing. It's beaconing all the matter production, and then it just has the line of reactors up top, a whole bunch of reactors. So apparently this thing can actually power like the transceiver too. It's like enough power to power the transceiver at the very end. Do I want to like make this my mission? Or do I want to build something out myself? That is a really long line of stuff. I don't know if I want to have this out all together like this. No, I don't want to have all this together like this. My reason being is this is okay, but I would rather build individual setups for each reactor. Like, do you get what my meaning here? I would want, well, technically, what I want is a reactor, a couple of reactors. I want a reactor that is going to power the power, or power the matter production, and then all of the other matter power plants off of that. Now, that probably ends up as big as that. Who knows? But let's start with what is the infrastructure to make the fuel. This uses this is 3 gigawatts of power. The thingies, where are the charging thingies? It's I need to convert wood to matter. I need to assemble these. I can't do productivity in either of these, but I can do efficiency with beacons. Always efficient. I would say always do efficiency on the actual buildings themselves. And that, oh, matter is a fluid. Huh. That would be why there's a recipe to convert matter into cubes, because that makes it a solid. Alright. Cool. So, this recipe does 0.2 per second per building without, like, speed module stuff. Which means, or it takes empty fuel cells plus 200 matter per second to make 0.2. I think I did the math, and it's 10 matter per second that you need. So 50 wood per second per reactor. If I look at this guy on this recipe, 50 wood per second is 75 greenhouses. That's the first thing. So what I need to do is find my request for greenhouses and make sure that I'm carrying around a few more greenhouses at the least. And remember that the way I tend to build things is I like being able to have separate setups for powering power. I'll need to calculate how much power is needed for this infrastructure for the wood, into matter, into antimatter fuel cells. because this thing is going to go through, at peak, 3 gigawatts, and a fuel cell is 300 gigajoules. That's 100 seconds at peak. 100 seconds. This is... Yeah, that's why it comes out to 10 matter per second at peak. So that's going to be 5 matter plants. And 5 matter plants is 4.84. So it's like 20, I'll say 27. It's 24.2 plus that 806.8.8.8.8. Plus 24.2, so 28 and a quarter. Let's say 30. Let's say 30 megawatts on this, plus another 10, so 40. And then it's 75 times 150 divided by 1,000. That's 11.25, so 51.25 megawatts of power. 51.25. Can I do that out of other sources? Yes. Yes, I can do that out of other perpetual sources. In fact, I can more than do that out of other perpetual power sources that I may already have. And I will completely remove and replace this right here with my little antimatter setup. I just need an array of 75 greenhouses, or 76. It doesn't really matter too much to me on that front. So let's go ahead and pick this stuff up, or cut it at the least. Oops, there's problems with my inventory. There we go. We're gonna go over here to what is, I guess, supposed to be power, or going to be power area. Da power. Da glorious power. Three, 4, 5, 10. Is that 10? That is 10. Okay. Now, options. I could do 76, and I think I will. That's 20, 40, 60, 80, 76. With a belt line all the way down. Does not need to be a purple belt. I think that's another problem with that other, with Ave's design, is that it's using purple belt on the entire thing, and it's like, does it really need purple belt on the entire thing? I don't think so. I don't really think it does. I should have just put the inserters on the whole thing that I pasted all the way down. That would have been easier. Oops. Of course, I am completely overkill with these inserters, too. That is fine when it's split between the two lanes like this. A purple belt actually works for this. A green belt would work for this. See, the color of the thing is green, that means that a green belt will work instead of a purple. But it is more than the prior tier of belt, the blues. More than a blue. Of course, everything also needs to be powered and watered. That is everything powered, and then water. I'll do 2. I don't really need to do 2, but it'll be fine. It shall be okay. Everything will be alright. So that's for 1. I need to put an advanced radar down somewhere, probably, like, replacing EU with an advanced radar. That's apparently still not showing the entire thing. Wow. Well, okay. Hey, could you, keep on going down for me just a bit? I know I'm going over that stone and that copper, but oh well. Ah, my glorious minions. Doing wonderful stuff for me. All the beautiful upgrades. So I can just copy-paste this going forward. That'll be beautiful. Then I need... Let's connect up this power. So this is making a lot of excess power. A fair bit of excess power. In fact, I'm going to take... I should have these energy storage units. Yeah, we're gonna start filling those up, too. That sounds nifty. Here, have a doohickey. How does that actually tile? Of course it doesn't, like, exactly fit. Why would it exactly fit? You can do that. That makes it easy. Ta-da! Lots of stuff! Yeah. I'll get rid of these, because I'd rather, like, have this. Yeah! Yeah, scale. Scaling. Okay, that'll fill up over time. It'll be fine. So there's the wood. Now for the matter plants, the 5 matter plants. These will be over here. It's 5 for each of these, meaning I might wanna have, I don't know, I might want to just delete this now. Or I could do it over here. It doesn't really matter where I do this, really. I just have to make sure that the belt gets there. Wood. Okay, wood into matter, and efficiently, please. Only need the 2 for the minus 80% power draw on there. Each one of these consumes 10 per second. I'm going to make the assumption, as unsafe as that is to make assumptions, that these can do 10 items per second in the grand scheme. do this connecting. Alright, you're making glorious 10 matter per second out of the things. Let's go ahead and have a pump into a huge tank. Maintaining that 10 per second. And then I can escape into a plant matter assembler, excuse me. That is going to be making those efficiently making those. And one of these is fine, I think, to provide the stuff, the fuel cells. Yeah, because each reactor is only going to consume up to 10 matter per second. So this one plant is actually, or this one matter assembler making the fuel cells, it's able to process enough for 20 of the antimatter reactors. So it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Everything is fine and awesome and magnificent. And here is a reactor. Now, where do I want to have this reactor? That is a great question. Where am I going to put this reactor? Somewhere over here that I can easily connect to that. I need an input and I need an output. The output's gonna cycle over to here. Get that powered. Get this guy this way. Ooh, that's the way. Now I just need to grab my empty fuel cells, and I will have an extra 3 gigawatts of power. Yeah, it'll be glorious. Give me these that you've made, these wonderful things. Wonderful fuel cells. I'm actually thinking I'm just going to place a box. Just a little box. Right here. Give it the fuel cells. This will make the fuel, and everything should look decent enough. We are now producing power through an antimatter reactor. We've gone +3 on stuff, and this is the point that I can do this. And get rid of all of that. No longer do I need the fusion reactor. This frees up, like, huge amounts of stuff. I am going to hold on to my fuel cells, though. That is okay. I'm gonna keep those. I will no longer need tritium, period. I'll no longer need heavy water, period. So all of that can die. I know I actually used efficiency on those. Jeez. Because what's going to happen is that even though I have all these deuterium fuel cells, I'm going to be making... Ah, speaking of which, I can actually do that now. Ah, it must be night. No, it's not. What? Are you... Oh. Yeah, that would help. Hi, please fill the accumulator charge. Thank you. I realize I should probably have this moved up a bit and out of the way, so I will do that at least. It'll be right over here. Do-do. 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 Because I said so. It's gonna fill up a lot of charge. A lot of extra charge. Yes, yes, we're good. We're good! Welcome, Antimatter Power, to the party. This is only the beginning of the shenanigans. Now you are waiting on more matter to get produced. This looks just fine to me. No red lights at all in there. This is moving, producing stuff. This maintains its fuel charges. It output that, which is fine. Yeah, that works. Now I need another, and another, and another. Because why stop at just one when you can have all of them? Oh hey, I have a dolly. Is that a dolly? Do I see a dolly? Yes, a dolly is here. Hi. Hello, hello, hello. She's come in saying hello. Hello. Hello, that's my dolly. She's come say hello and she's come to be on the lap and... Yes, come to my lap. Thank you, dolly, with your great big bushy tail. Bushy tail. Up, and there she goes. There she goes. Come on, right there. Ta-da! Now, up here, what do I need to grab from here? I don't think I really need to grab anything. I'm also not using any beacons whatsoever in that build, so yeah, it's fine. It's glorious and magnificent. Yeah, I don't think I need anything from here right now, this moment in time, but what I do need to do is make a couple of things. This. Does this stack? Yes, it does, so one of you. Portable antimatter reactor. Yep. They exist. Okay, go ahead and do... this expansion. There we go. And what about other stuff? I don't have the better armor, so go ahead and get both of those next. The Mark III and the Mark IV armor. How about any better personal roboports? That would be appreciated. Or any better, these exoskeletons. Yeah, there we go. That's good. I like that. Then we can resume that. Go ahead and pick up some mining productivity for what good that'll do going forward. Once the transceiver is done. Oh, this is going to be handy. Nifty. Nifty's the word that I'm looking for. Make one, please. Because that's going to mean probably it's probably bigger than this. 4x4, what is this? 4x4, it is the same. And it provides 4 megawatts. These provide 3.2 and use deuterium fuel cells. The others use antimatter, which is significantly easier to make. Literally infinitely easier to make. So we've been at this for 41 minutes. I am going to do this expansion to one more. One more. So this is how Ave's build got so huge, by the way. It's just kept placing things right next to each other like this. Probably to fill one plant, and then he started beaconing the plants and the other stuff too. And it's like, maybe not. I don't think we'll build quite like that, but yeah. So I need stuff to be able to more easily scale, which means that I'm going to take this and actually do it in line, like so. I'll have to reverse the belt, but that's fine. And by doing it this way, I'll just connect over here with the extra matter. Because this thing can process up to 200. By doing it this way, it makes things infinitely better, easier, because now I can... Oh, it does sort of cover a tile, but that's fine. Now I can actually just do a full-on copy of this whole thing. Did it grab the... Probably didn't grab that stuff. Just grab the whole thing, overlap, and paste. Just overlap and paste like that. And there you go. That's our next line, etc. as we continue to build. And each one of these lines is equal to one additional reactor. How many is this going to store in one reactor? I don't know. Oh, and it will slow down the rate at which stuff gets pulled here. So now I have like 7 gigawatts of available power. How much do I need to complete the game? A lot, because that intergalactic transceiver is going to need a lot. Max input of 60 gigawatts, so we need to maintain 60 extra gigawatts of power just to do this thing. Just to run this. Yeah. It's a bit of extra stuff. It's 10 of these, plus the amount that you need to supply your base. Yeah! Quite a bit. Quite a bit of stuff. Now this is making its matter, and this is making its matter, and this is making its stuff-ish. I would like the full 0.2 per second. That would be more ideal. Just overproduce so that I don't have to worry about these at all. But with that, folks, now that we've set up our initial antimatter power production and we've seen what it looks like, we've seen, like, gotten a pretty good idea of how this is going to scale this way. I've apparently produced 10,000 units of matter. Now that we've seen that, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you have enjoyed today's video and the series thus far, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff down below. You can, of course, hit that great big blue join button to become an erudite otaku, and turn that blue button gray. And you can support me on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat if you are so inclined and able. And I will see you all next time, where I'm gonna do something involving scaling. We shall see. I have a few singularity beacons now. I think it's time to just go bit by bit and just massively improve the amount of stuff. Like, see what's running out, see where the identify the bottlenecks and address the bottlenecks and the root cause of all of any bottlenecks. That is on the agenda, and also on the agenda is deleting this. Deleting this in its entirety and voiding excess U-235. That will be on the agenda as well. I will see you all then.